Welcome to GGC Kids on YouTube. Enjoy the show.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean. I've got peace, love, and joy like an ocean in my soul. I've got peace, love, joy like a fountain. I've got peace, love, and joy like a fountain. I've got peace, love, and joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a fountain. I've got peace, love, and joy like a fountain. I've got peace, love, and joy like a fountain in my soul.
Good morning, GGC Kids. Did you guys enjoy that amazing praise and worship? I know I did. So today we're going to be reading from 1 Samuel chapter 16. And so this chapter is pretty much about the assignment God gave to Samuel. So God gave Samuel the job of finding a new king of the Israelites. So just a background story, Saul was the king of the Israelites before. And Saul wasn't following the rules and the obedience that he was supposed to be following from God. And that made God very angry. And so God told Samuel to find a new king. And so in chapter 16, God tells Samuel he has to go to this man named Jesse. And Jesse has a number of sons, but we have to figure out which son does God want to become king. So as Samuel goes to Jesse, he finds David. Now David is the youngest of Jesse's son, and he was out in the field. He was being a shepherd over the sheep and over the goats. And God told Samuel, this is who I want to be my king. So Samuel takes the olive oil and he pours the olive oil on David. And that gives David's anointing, and he has the anointing with God with him. So Samuel was a bit of afraid, right? Samuel was afraid because he thought if he went to find another king, Saul would be upset with him. He thought Saul would be mad and Saul would get him killed. So sometimes when God asks us to do something, we are afraid because of what might happen. That's a chance for us to trust God. God told Samuel that David was the one. Okay, so we're at Samuel, and Samuel was like, I gotta go find this king. Samuel didn't know how he was gonna look. He didn't know how Jesse looked. God was like, just go to Jesse, and go to Jesse, you're gonna find his sons, and then you're gonna find your next king. So once Samuel poured the oil on David, and he received God's blessing, David was given a job. David was given the job of being the harp player for Saul. So let's just think, Saul is the king right now, and David's going to be the king, but now David is given the job of working for Saul as his harp player. And Saul was having some very tormenting dreams, And what I mean is that Saul was having some very bad dreams, and he needed the harp player to soothe the dreams or make him feel better. And so David was sent to be his harp player. And how would you feel if you're knowing that this is supposed to be your position, but then you've given a lower position and you have to wait patiently and serve faithfully until God brings you up to the position that you know is yours? So David served faithfully, and he was happy to serve Saul. So the job God chose for David was not an easy one. And remember, David was pretty young. He didn't have a lot of experience doing what God chose him to do, but God knew David was the perfect choice. And God knows who I am. God has chosen special things for me and for you to do. God knows who we are better than anyone else. Samuel and David's dad would probably never have picked David because he was the youngest. But God knew who David was, and God knows who we are and sees the greatness in us and all the potential that we have. Thank you for watching. See you next time.